Kia ora everyone, welcome along to the Benchwarmers Podcast on the ACC Network. A couple of Kiwi basketball fans talking hoops. I'm Ben Boyce. I'm sharing the first name as Ben Simmons, but sadly for both of us, we cop about the same amount of grief when it comes to basketball. But joining me this week, she has the same name as Embiid, but to distance himself from Joel Harrison, I think he's gone with the pronunciation of Joel. Good to have you here though, Joel.
Good to be here. You can call me Joel Harrison if you want. My fantasy team was called Joel Inbreed as well. That was, something different.
And also she has the last name, the same last name as Austin Reeves. Well, it's kind of the same last name, but spelled different, doesn't have the S. Anyway, it's really nothing alike. It's Chris Reive from the New Zealand Herald.
Hey mate, we're both like skinny white guys, right? It works. We look similar.
Now, I've always wanted to do this, recording this podcast at 1:15 Pacific Standard Time. But first, here's our friends from Pearl Jam. Just want to do that because Bill Simmons does that every week on his podcast. So I thought maybe it would add a bit of class, a bit of quality to it. What did you guys think? Did it work?
I mean, I don't mind a bit of Pearl Jam, but there's nothing quite like ripping someone else off, right?
That's what I do, mate. Just trying to rip other people. Don't even come up with my own ideas. Just trying to rip off someone else's ideas. Although I was looking at Pearl Jam during the week. They used to be called Mookie Blaylock, who was a former NBA guard. That was the name of their first name before Pearl Jam. He was like an NBA player that they picked out from a basketball card they had in the studio and went, hey, let's call ourselves that. But they changed the name to Pearl Jam.
Yeah, learn something new.
You learn something new every day. It's interesting.
And his number 10 was you like your stats? His number was 10. And they had the big album 10. Yeah, see, basketball, see? Bill,
Jeez, mate, he's across it all. He's across it all.
Bill Simmons, do you? You probably do, actually. Now, this week, before we get into our starting five, Michael Jordan had a pair of kicks, Air Jordans 13s from 1998, and they reckon they're going to go to sale in auction this week for $4 million. He wore them in a game, winning a finals game, winning for the Bulls. But $4 million, I mean, if you had the money, I mean, if you asked your girlfriend's parents, would you borrow that off them, or would they buy that for you?
$4 million. That's like almost your yearly salary as well. So.
My salary, that's my podcast salary for the Benchwarmers, that's for sure. What's the most you paid for anything, even sports memorabilia or anything in general, you guys? Have you ever paid for anything like that? Not $4 million, but
nothing like that. No.
Yeah, because you pay a lot for tops, obviously, for jerseys when it comes to stuff. I got scammed actually because when LeBron, being my favorite player, when he signed for the Lakers, it popped up going, "Get the first singlets, LeBron, the Lakers." I'm like, sweet. So I bought one, and then I realized that they hadn't even started making them yet. It was just a scam. So I put the money through and never got my singlet. So I had to change my credit card by going too quick on a LeBron James singlet.
Did you pay like an excessive amount of money for it as well?
Yeah, probably quite a lot. They were like, first to get the LeBron James, and then later they were like, well, they're not even going to bring it. They hadn't even announced what number he was going to be. They just took a punt, which is probably fair enough because he was 23 at the time. But yeah, it didn't work out so well for me, that one. Anyway, let's get into the starting five. That's enough about my sad life.
This is the starting five for the Benchwarmers.
Y'all ready for this? We need to kick things off with New Zealand Breakers. I went across actually to Game 4 at Spuck Arena the other night and saw Game 4, but doing breakfast hours on the radio and it's late and I was excited, but I also didn't quite get to the end of the game. But when I went to sleep last night, things were going great for the New Zealand Breakers in their deciding game, the big Game 5 against the Kings. But then, Chris, I know you wrote for the Herald, things didn't quite work out in the final quarter.
No, it looked a little bit like they ran out of gas in that fourth quarter. They actually built a 7-point lead with like 7 minutes to go, and then they didn't score another point for the next 5 minutes. They fell behind by 7, and that was pretty much all she wrote from there.
Joel Harrison, I know, being across things for the basketball podcast, let's really drill down to your favourite moment of, let's say, the second quarter.
Yeah.
Between minutes 4 to 6, just pinpoint one thing that you enjoyed watching.
It was a good game. I reckon that you got Derek Walton Jr., Xavier Cooks, the guy that's going to the NBA. They really outclassed the Breakers. It's hard to say this, but yeah, look, the Breakers, they just didn't have the ticker. They were up early
No, they stayed up. They were even up late. So yeah, I was trying to stay up late too, but I couldn't quite get there.
Obviously, I got to get up at 3 a.m. for breakfast hours and stuff. So like, I would have been there watching it. I probably would have flown up to Sydney if I didn't have the radio show. That's how much the Breakers mean to me. But I did see that you went along to Game 4 along with all the other classic New Zealanders that just jump on the bandwagon. Mate, one went away from the finals.
I paid for my tickets. So I wasn't getting no hookups or anything like that. I was going along.
You got to sort that out, Ben.
Andrew Mulligan, mate, he was there all season. Why weren't you?
Well, he's commentating the game, isn't he? Yeah, but he is. He's a bigger fan than me. But I've loved watching the Breakers this season because going from wooden spoon last year, not having games, really at home over the last few years, it's just been such a great turnaround.
Yeah, it's been huge, and I think a lot of that comes down to Mody Maor and what he wanted to achieve with this team. Like throughout the season, he said, he wants it to be a team New Zealand can be proud of. They want to play a certain way. They want to reconnect with the fans. Obviously, coming home and actually having home games was a big part of that. And yeah, toward the back end, they sold out Spark Arena a couple of times.
Biggest crowd ever in New Zealand, right, for a basketball game, which is awesome. They seem to love him. Hey, the coach, they love him, which is great.
I mean, he's animated as well, which definitely helps things because everyone loves someone who just doesn't care what everyone else thinks.
Yeah.
He's just going to act how he acts.
What do we think of, the Sydney Kings? Obviously a great team. Xavier Cook's taking his man bun to the NBA, which is great to get another man bun in the NBA. But speaking of great hair, their coach has got great hair too, isn't he?
He does, eh? He's very Quinn Snyder-like.
Yeah, my friends of mine think he looks like someone who's got like a hedge fund, in the US from college. His name's Chase as well too, like one of the Winklevoss twins or whatever from that Facebook movie or something like that.
He seems like a bit of a wanker. Is that like I don't know.
Is that like the same sort of wavelength?
I wasn't saying that at all. That was Joel Harrison saying that.
Yeah, I don't know, but I did see him leave the press conference after Game 4.
I think we've got that audio right now of him leaving the press conference after they lost.
After Matt Walsh's tweet, I knew exactly how tonight was going to call it, and it was called exactly as I planned it would. Yeah, I'm proud of the guys. Always tough to go out there and compete against 8. They were allowed to get away with the stuff they weren't allowed to in the first few games.
Chase's physicality not part of basketball, though? Or do you think the Breakers take it over there?
I'm good. Thanks, man.
Oh, so he just left. It's almost a good way of getting out of answering a question, though, isn't it? Like just leave. Just leave.
I also saw him celebrating, like doing the 3-point goggles on the sideline.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't know, man.
He did a shoey as well, too, I think, after the game.
Okay, he's a legend.
Oh, you like that? You bloody Gen Zers.
All it takes.
Your bloody festivals with shoes, Yeah. But sure, you can get one of the Jordan shoes for $4 million and do a shoey out of that.
Would you do a shoey out of that? Or probably not.
Well, you'd like to, but it feels like
What are you going to do with that? Just put it on a shelf and
you couldn't. Yeah, you obviously wouldn't be playing with it or running around the park, would you? So,
what if Michael Jordan did a shoey out of his own shoe? Would that make the money or the value of it go up, sorry?
Oh, yeah, you're probably right, actually.
Adam's shaking his head. Nah, like that one.
Nah, no way, because sneakerheads want it in pristine condition. They'd probably sniff it, to be honest, just to really get that feel of the shoe. Surely they don't want some sticky fluid on it, right?
Well, yeah, as you say, the coach, I thought it was a great move getting out of a question. The crying's the other option I think you can get out of stuff. Jono, I mean, he did a speech for someone who was leaving at an old radio station, my mate Jono, who I work with, and he started crying early on. Everyone went, is this a gag? And then he just was really quite emotional. Guy started crying and then didn't have to do the speech because everyone had to come up going, you're right, mate, you're okay, like that. I was like, either that was the greatest tactic for getting out of a speech that you didn't know you had to do, or just really emotional, really touching.
Yeah, maybe the Breakers coach should have done that last night to leave the press conference, get out of there early, not have to put up with the punishing questions.
Well, yeah.
He did fake getting up and leaving.
But yeah.
Oh, did he? Yeah. It's the last thing you'd want to do after losing the game, wouldn't it? Would be to go on a press and have the likes of you, Chris, asking bloody questions about,
away. Oh, where did it all go wrong, Mody?
Mate, you were there. Like, do you feel sometimes when you're asking questions to play, you're like, all coaches, you're like, well, I kind of know the answer, but I need to ask this anyway?
Yeah, pretty much. You get that a lot. You can get a lot of formulaic questions, and I mean, you know what you're going to get back from them, but the things you kind of need to say them
anyway, right? Yeah.
What happens now with the Breakers? Like all these players who are quite good, quite a few good American players. You got the young French guy who's going off to the NBA potentially as well. What do you see happening now with all these good players from the Breakers?
Oh, they just go straight back into recruitment mode. It's the same with, I think, most teams across the NBL. Like, you have your 3 import spots, and every year it's just like a merry-go-round. You're bringing in new imports every time. And the trick is you need to really nail those import spots to have a chance of contending. the Breakers did that this year with Jarrell Brantley, Derek Pardon, and Barry Brown Jr. Like, those three were the team's top 3 scorers. So
what's the chances of them getting them for next year? Because obviously there's a salary cap, right?
Good question.
Well, yeah.
I assume so.
Yeah, I'm guessing so. But then is there like a salary cap, and there's also like, hey, you're also working at Burger King, and like, and I'm putting that in those little speech marks that no one can hear on this one. Getting it. Not saying Hungry Jack's or Burger King are doing stuff like that or anything, but is there? I imagine that sort of stuff could be happening with some of the more wealthy teams potentially.
Oh, I got no idea on that one.
Okay, right. Maybe I'm just making stuff up here.
Past my,
it does feel
wheelhouse.
like, any time a breakout has a good... It's happened in the past before. We've had a good import and then they've ended up on another team, but maybe they're just like, you want to live in Australia. Maybe it's just the sunny climate.
Don't blame you. Wouldn't blame them.
All right, so NBA right now, where are things at the moment? Will it be decided on which team doesn't get injured, doesn't lose some players? Because obviously, you've got the Suns. KD slipped. He slipped like in the warm-ups in his first home game. LeBron's out for the Lakers. There's a few injuries going along. So do you think, Chris, it's going to be the team that manages to withstand not having any injuries?
I'm going to say yes, because I say this every year with the Denver Nuggets. They could win an NBA championship, but they can't stay healthy. Right. And that's the same with so many teams this year. Just players cannot stay healthy.
Because we've got the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks are the first team to qualify for the playoffs. They beat the Suns yesterday. So they seem to be slightly ahead in the East. The Celtics have dropped off a little bit of lately, Joel.
Yeah, they have been slipping a little bit, but look, it's probably good to get these losses out of the way before the big playoffs come forward. But I don't know, just in general with where the NBA is at, I'll probably be honest. I know a lot of my friends who are big NBA fans as well. They're sort of at the point where it's like, really from now until like the end of the regular season, I probably sound like a massive casual saying this, but it's sort of like stuck in that rut between like what's actually going to happen and who's going to qualify for the playoff.
We kind of know some teams are already there, right?
Yeah,
in the East, you've got the Celtics, the Bucks, the 76ers. They're going to be there. Maybe in the West, there's a few positions there. I think actually at the moment I was looking before, like the Timberwolves are like 35 wins, 34 losses. OKC, 34 wins, 35 losses. Mavs exactly the same. Lakers exactly the same. So there's quite a logjam at the end of that sort of playoff race.
Yeah, I reckon the play-in tournament is going to be great again this year. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
You just want to get there now.
I'm just keen to get there. I think there's 10 more games per team as well. So it's going to be good. In about 2 weeks' time, it's going to be pumping.
How are the Jazz doing at the moment, just while you got the tables up there?
The Jazz, where are the Jazz? Well, 11th, are they?
From the top of my memory, they've gone 4-6 in their last 10 games as well. So
remember when they were leading the West?
I know, yeah.
And the Pelicans as well. They were, in December, they were the number 1 seed in the West, and now they're down to the 12th, 13th even, which is, it's grim scenes in New Orleans at the moment.
Injuries will do that.
Well, one of my favourite moments during the week was, Steph Curry had an amazing game against the Suns, and Chris Paul, he was chirping at Chris Paul. It's not 2014 anymore, which confused Chris Paul. I think after the game, he was a little bit baffled by it.
Curious, the cameras caught Steph saying something to you about this isn't 2014 anymore, and I guess after he scored a layup on you.
Shit, I don't know what happened in 2014. Y'all tell me.
It must have been from. Did y'all be in the playoffs that year? The Clippers?
That's like 9 years ago. What happened?
That had to be the Clippers Warriors series, right?
Which series?
Playoff series that you guys must have won that series in 2014 over the Warriors. But did you even hear him say? Did you see when he said that to you?
Did he say it to me?
That's what I'm asking. Did he say it to you? That's what I'm asking.
No, he didn't say it to me.
Okay.
Where do you see it at?
So it felt like Chris Paul maybe had a head injury there. He didn't really remember what happened in 2014. Apparently it was because I think that was the last time the Clippers bet the Suns in the playoffs, basically where Chris Paul was playing. Either that or in 2014 there was a bowler.
Oh,
that was pretty good. MH370 as well was 2014, and Gangnam Style as well reached 2 billion views. So maybe Chris Paul's like blocked that out from his.
Just doing Gangnam Style on the side.
It's like, man, I did a lot of Gangnam Style back there. I shouldn't be doing that. Maybe not as well. But it's kind of good. I kind of liking seeing there's a bit of tension in some of these games. Dylan Brooks is winding everyone up from the Grizzlies as well, which is I kind of liking. It's good to see, right?
Oh, I love seeing that. Like, it's just a little bit more competitive element to it, right? It's the same with what we saw with Adi Savir a few weeks ago doing the old throat cutting thing. I'm all for that kind of thing in a game. Like in the context of a game, you're just trying to rile up your opponent. Like, all for it. I
agree, yeah. I saw somewhere on an Instagram page here that every time Devin Booker riles someone up, it backfires on him massively because he was talking shit against Luka, and Luka took him down in the Game 7 of the playoffs. And then Clay dropped 38 points on him, an easy win. And recently, Jay Crowder had the dagger 3 after being chirped all game by Devin Booker. So
Jay Crowder got him.
I know. That's when Jay Crowder's doing that, that's not good.
Maybe Chris Paul's head injury came from Steph Curry because during the week he went with one of his. It popped up on my Instagram. It was like, here's Steph Curry making an unbelievable shot, and you almost become numb to the shots that he can do. He's like shooting from like the car park of the stadium. He's shooting from wherever. But then during the week, this happened where he shot the ball and it hit a poor ball boy in the head. So not great audio, that one. There was no commentary or anything like that, but you'll just have to take my word for it. Or I was thinking we could cross live to ACC Cricket Studios right now, maybe add their commentary over the top and see how that would go in that moment.
That's a direct hit. They're going upstairs. They're celebrating, but...
Yeah, so you go. It kind of works, doesn't it?
That works.
It sounded like the end of the cricket game the other day, but hey.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? But
yeah, I think it was.
If you didn't see the cricket or hear the cricket, you wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Steph Curry he's incredible. Like, it's just the how he can make shots from everywhere.
Oh, yeah, he's changed the game, mate. Changed the NBA completely.
LeBron, where he's been the sort of number one for so long, do you think, who's carrying on afterwards? Like, is he the one, or is it Giannis, or who's it?
Curry's too old to do that, I reckon.
Yeah, mate, come on, mate.
Isn't he like he's not
every us is 23, 22, whatever the hell you are, mate.
No,
whole life ahead of you.
No, I would say Curry. He's through his peak now. He probably doesn't have much left to go in his career, but he'll be retiring soon unless he uses the PEDs like LeBron.
You're gonna have to keep that clip for when Curry wins another championship.
And it'll be like that tweet about LeBron, Like LeBron's 30 now. Whatever that person said, this effery, whatever they said, it's not going to go on much longer. And look at him, still, well, not at the moment. He's in a moon boot.
He out. He'll be out. He probably may as well retire now.
He'll be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, well, the Lakers might make the playoffs. Like I was a bit worried when LeBron went out, but they've kind of rebooted. D'Lo's looking pretty good. Anthony Davis, as you like to call him, is hanging in there some games.
So had a huge game yesterday.
Yeah, so they might actually scrape on through. Now, Ja Morant, we talked about him last week again. He went to the club, he flashed a gun. And speaking of flashing, there was a lot of footage released as well. It was weirdly footage in the back of the club, right?
Yeah, it was weird that you were watching it over and over again before the show as well today.
Whatever.
Zooming in and stuff. I don't really get
this is from the New York Post. The New York Post, I would have thought, you're from the New Zealand Herald. How reputable is the New York Post? Is it up there? Is it?
Yeah.
Is that okay? They were like, inside Ja Morant's 50K gun-toting booty bender at the strip club. That was the headline.
Jeez, that's a headline. That's a headline.
And there was an all-star point guard, Ja Morant, dribbled and drooled over a stripper at the same Denver arena jiggle point where he blew 50 grand in tips and flashed the gun 48 hours later. Shocking photos obtained by the Post were all in there as well. It shows him with a whole lot of the big boy baller. It says it raunchy Shotgun Willie's in Glendale. Sounds like a great place. You've been there a couple of times, haven't you?
Is that the one you were recommending when you went to America that time?
That's the first stop when he gets to Glendale.
Yeah. But there was like a footage. Now it feels weird. You've really made it feel weird that I've actually researched this, but all over the floor, the cash was someone's a big pickup job of all the cash at the end of the day. The cash was everywhere.
Yeah. Obviously, I saw it over your shoulder this morning when you were watching it on repeat, but yeah, Ja Morant, he really seems to be living his best life. And look, you're good on him, but obviously the gun part is not good. But he's a 23-year-old, 24-year-old guy, I think, and just living his life. He's got a bit of money. Why not just let him relax, let himself go to the strip club?
So the Grizzlies, they said they were fine in the West. Ja was like, we're fine in the West, and things have kind of fallen apart a little bit. No, Steve Adams, Ja Morant, I think he's out for 8 games as a suspension now, so he will be back pretty soon. But can the Grizzlies come back? Can the Cocaine Bears, as we like to call the Grizzlies, can they come back?
Yeah, I think so. They got the team to do it. They do need Steven Adams back sooner rather than later.
Is he out for the season, or is he out for just...
Last update I saw was another 3 or 4 weeks. So he's pushing it to get back for playoffs.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but they lose so much by not having his rebounding.
And Jar's going to potentially miss out on a whole lot of cash, Joel, you were saying.
Yeah, apparently he's going to miss out on like
50 grand that left of the club.
$39 million.
That's not missing out on it, that's spending it.
That's spending it. But you're right.
Money well spent.
He might not make the NBA All-Star team, right? Or the
All-NBA
team, sorry.
And Adam was saying as well before that apparently $39 million is US as well, what you get as a bonus for making that team.
Yeah, well, that's in his contract. So his 50,000 could cost him millions. And at the end of the day, you being a young lad, similar age, Joel, was it worth it? Is it worth it?
Because he hasn't played enough games, right? Potentially to make it, you got to play enough games to get that bonus.
The way I see it is he'll still be making millions of dollars. What's 50K? You know, what's 50K on a good night? You know,
yeah.
But when you compare it up against 39 to 40 mil.
It's a lot of money.
Could you get that satisfaction of that money out of a strip club, please, Joel Harrison?
I personally, I'm not like Ben Boyce. I'm not much of a fan of the strip club, but yeah, I don't know. I guess he'll be regretting it. But then again, like he'll be making millions. He'll probably make the All NBA team next year. He's got a big career ahead. Hopefully, he can learn. I saw he was doing counselling down in Florida or something as well. Just to
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully he can get the right
go
people.
through a few troubles, and I mean, imagine if you were, you are a 23-year-old kid, but imagine if we lumped 50 million on you in your back pocket,
mate.
I don't think you'd be here right now, and if you would, you'd be like bouncing off the walls and stuff. So yeah, wildest thing you've ever not let's take it away from the unsavory nature. Just let's go club in general. Is there anything wild you've ever seen? Like obviously him flashing a gun around. You've never seen anything to that level. Fights. Broken up, anything like that?
You see a few fights in town, right? But that's just a normal night out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Joel Harrison.
I've seen a few.
Where were you last night?
Yeah, I've been to a fair few gigs, raves in my time. I've seen a few extraterrestrial characters.
I saw one that was a very low ceilings, and that song Tayo Cruz, Put Your Hands Up in the Air, came on, and the person put their hands up. I think they were on the shoulders, the other one, but put their hand up into a ceiling fan. Yeah. Which was rotating on the thing. And that was quite painful for the poor person, their hand injury. So, that sort of stuff can happen at clubs.
Yeah, I was at a club in Australia over Christmas as well, and there was a Magic Mike contest going on. It was like 10 different guys, and it was intense. It was a very intense night. We left before the wet t-shirt contest came on as well.
Jeez, really?
No cameras allowed. It was it was an interesting place. But
Australia,
down under, the bar's called Down Under. I would recommend it as well if you're ever in Brisbane.
Oh God. Okay, here we go. Moving on. The Clippers. Now the Clippers and the Lakers play in the Crypt or Crypto.com arena, which will be probably named as long as crypto's around, and maybe that'll tank. But they're building a new stadium. It's going to be out in Inglewood, always up to no good, and it's going to be completed in 2024. And the owner of the Clippers, Steve Ballmer, he's bloody excited about the toilets in particular.
Toilets! 1,160 toilets and urinals! 3 times the NBA average number of toilets and urinals. We do not want people waiting in line. We want them to get back to their damn seats at the end of the half before the game. Clocks!
So that's a lot of toilets. He says 1,160 toilets and urinals. It's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of toilets. But that seems like, Chris, you've been to games in America a lot. They do it really well in there. You don't seem like you have to wait in queues as much as here. There's lots of food options. There's lots of flow. I don't know how they seem to do it better than we do.
I think they just have bigger arenas and more people showing up so that they can, I guess, make sense of having the bigger arenas.
How many people would be in that arena if there's 1,160 toilets? Is it like, what's the capacity? Will it be 20,000 or something?
Well, because at the moment, I think it's about...
way
do you know,
higher.
producer Adam?
Nah, but if you're saying 1,000 and they're building a new stadium, surely it's like 50K plus, right?
Like not for they wouldn't fill that out for basketball. Would they? New stadium.
What was the one at the start of the season where they got the highest record, and it was around 50K? And
it was in San Antonio for the San Antonio Spurs versus the Warriors game, I think it was, and they got like 68,000 in there.
Yeah.
For a Spurs game.
Yeah, apparently
it was this season.
This season they decked out like a whole new arena for it. Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy
so
18,000. There you go. A bit of live Googling while that was going on. So 18,000. That's a good percentage of toilets and urinals.
It's like one toilet for every 18 people. At Spark Arena, it's like 3 toilets for 12,000 people at Spark.
Yeah, it's bloody annoying. Unless you go to Harry Styles, apparently, and then the guys' line was...
Yeah.
It was
that was fantastic. In and out. There you go.
And alcohol, apparently. Like, alcohol lines are very, very short at Harry Styles' concert, so that sounds like it was pretty handy as well. There was some cheap gags going around and involving the Clippers and some players that maybe aren't good at shooting, building the bricks for the new stadium. I was like... But the internet is so quick on basically bullying favourite players, isn't it?
Yeah, especially with Russell Westbrook.
I know, you feel sorry for
Poor
him.
guy.
Westbrook, he's there and he's still hanging out there. Clippers haven't been, it seems like a bit of an uneasy fit again with Westbrook. They were going pretty well, the Clippers, and now sort of okay, but he hasn't been playing badly.
No, he's a really interesting one. He plays well and the team loses. It's weird. I don't know why that happens, but it seems to happen everywhere he goes.
I saw a bit of a stat on Russell Westbrook actually that when he's on the court, they have the second highest offense rating in the league, and when he's off the court, they have the second lowest offense rating.
Oh wow!
Which is shows of how much an impact player he really is.
He's bringing a lot. Was he still in the conversation for Sixth Man of the Year, or is that?
I doubt it.
Right.
Who would be?
He's starting now for the Clippers, though, isn't he? Yeah. So he has been. So
who would you say like Sixth Man of the Year at the moment?
Good question. From the start of the year, I thought Benedict Mathurin from Indy, but he's probably fallen off a little bit now.
Yeah.
It'll be
someone
else
the other
from one of
day.
the big
Yeah,
teams.
I was going to say someone else today.
You got Brogdon from the Celtics.
Brogdon's always
Malcolm
going to be there.
Brogdon, yeah.
Quickly.
Yeah. He's been starting though a little bit for the Knicks as well. They're going really well in the Knicks, aren't they? Although Brunson's out, I think, at the moment with a slight injury. But yeah, so they're going all right. The Clippers have got a new stadium at the moment, so looking forward to that starting. I think it's probably good for them to be away from, not have. It's kind of confusing that they go LA one night in LA. I mean, although to Spark Arena's credit, the other night I was there and it was like for that Breakers game, and I was like, man, they had the Backstreet Boys the night before. That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I didn't consider that.
Logistically, that's there's a lot going on in the stadiums. Now we've been trying to get some nicknames going this season, Joel. We've had Devin Booker-Batch, which hasn't really taken off, but I've been, you've had your Anthony Dade to Davis.
Yeah, that's a very good one. Very good one, I reckon.
Jared Vanderbilt, you've been going with him.
Jared Vanderbilt like a brick shithouse. I think that was just off the top of my head recently. I was like, that would work.
But yeah, okay, a couple of nicknames just before we really look at fantasy. Do you guys know who Bropez is? As far as their actual nickname.
Splash Mountain, Brook Lopez.
Yeah, Brook Lopez's actual nickname, which is a pretty good nickname, but I didn't know that. His actual nickname. These are not ones we've made out. The Stifle Tower, who would that be?
Rudy Gobert.
Oh, well done, Chris. And if I say the word, I saw this online the other day, and if you say mellow, who are we thinking of?
Whoa,
this might get the generation.
See, I would say Carmelo Anthony.
So would
but
I.
In context, like nowadays, it's probably LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball. Yeah, it was interesting. They did that out and about with some NBA fans, and the younger kids. Most of them would say LaMelo Ball, whereas you're a little bit older, you're probably a Carmelo fan.
Yeah,
from back in the day.
Yeah.
Best nickname in the NBA though. Do we have one?
Flop, LeBrick.
Oh, don't start, bloody. You're always having a crack at LeBron, mate.
No, it's an easy target. What do you reckon?
I don't know. I mean, there's a few good ones going around. I mean, obviously, I like Dame Time's kind of cool. He's kind of got his own brand going on there. No Tippin' Pippin, apparently, was his nickname back in the day because he was a bad tipper, which I thought was pretty good. Josh Hart being a dog, I thought just like that, the fact that everyone thinks he's a dog. Vinsanity. I mean, it's pretty good nicknames. That's what they do in America.
Any good ones that you have off the top of your head?
Nope.
Oh. What, for him personally?
I need to do a little bit more research.
What's Markelle Fultz one again?
Like point guard.
Oh yeah, because you're a massive fan of the Magic, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Point guard, Markelle.
What about within the Breakers? Is there any, or in the is there any sort of cool names floating around there, or are they kind of just like Lowy for Rob Lowe or something? Yeah, that's what we kind of like,
There probably are a few. The ones you hear are just the sort of generic ones, like Jarrell Brantley was JB.
Double BJ, Barry Brown Jr.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, mate. Don't bring the tone of this podcast again, mate.
What? Barry Brown Jr., Double BJ.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's head to the stat bunker.
Yeah, look, this week in the stat bunker, there's a few. I think you have a few there as well, Ben. But
I did, yeah.
One that really fascinated me, straight from NBA history, they posted it up yesterday. So at the moment, Joel Embiid is leading the NBA 33.4 points per game, and then James Harden 10.8 assists per game. He's leading in that, and it's the first time like a duo from the same team have led since 1981, over 40 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Back when I think it was Georgie Given and Johnny Moore.
Just off the top of your head.
I think.
Just
strain the brain on that
He
one.
had a good season that year, Georgie Given.
32.3. Yeah, Georgie Given and Johnny Moore. 32.3.
Who'd they play for?
Sorry?
Who'd they play for?
The
Just needs a bit more
Spurs. I
time
think
to
it was
Google
the
that.
San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, that was obviously 1981-82, one of the good seasons for the Spurs.
Yeah,
So,
it was a classic.
and it's like it raises a point. Will the 76ers push on further this year? Or will they get eliminated the second round?
I reckon they might. They'll go. I don't know. It's hard. It feels like the 76ers have fallen over quite a lot when it comes to the end. I even have that doubt about the Nuggets for some reason. So they've kind of done the same thing. Do you think the 76ers can do it?
Is Joel going to leave the stadium crying again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
You reckon?
I agree with Joel. Like, he's probably going to leave the stadium crying again.
Yeah.
I just don't see the Sixers winning a championship with the team they have.
Wow.
You can't win a championship with just Joel Embiid scoring and James Harden sort of backing him up and assisting him.
So I think we did this last week, and obviously you went on the podcast last week. If you could pick, potentially finalists, or winners of each, the East and the West, who you're putting at the moment. I don't know there's going to be injuries and things will change, but at the moment, who you thinking? Who you liking?
I kind of hate to say it, but Golden State, if they're healthy,
Oh, you reckon
I think
they're
they
gonna
get out
turn
of the
things around?
West.
Yeah?
I think same.
If they have Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green on the court together, they're near unstoppable. They're just such a good team.
Okay, you do think with KD coming if he comes back, do you think the Suns can do it, or do you think the fact that he's
I
injured
think
and there's
they
not enough
can,
time
but-
together to really play that and to gel?
I don't think gelling's going to be an issue with that team. I think KD just comes in and does what KD does, and everyone else kind of does what they need to do around him.
So the bloody Golden State Warriors again. Okay, here we go. And who are you picking on the other side?
It's going to be really boring, but the Bucks. They're just too good a
Yeah.
team. I'd like to say the Celtics, but I mean they lost twice this year to the Magic.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
So-
true. They seem to lose to the teams they probably should beat, and then
Yeah.
beat win the big games that they need to. Now,
Yeah,
I thought this was an interesting stat for that. Oh, sorry, you want to?
I was just saying I'm going very boring this year.
Oh, that's all right. So you can do that.
Are you still backing the Lakers, Ben Boyce?
Well, I'm backing them. I'd like to see them get through. I feel like if they get through, LeBron's healthy, they may go. I'd love to see them go through. They're better than they were at the start of the season, put it this way. And I think the good thing as a Lakers fan is all going well. They've probably got a good core of people that can play in the team next year. At the start of the year, particularly last year, they had all these players that were, probably in the Ryman retirement home. They were, but this year they've got a little core of players that will hopefully be around. So that's kind of boding all right, I reckon, for the future.
Yeah.
But I thought this was quite a good stat to add to the stat bunker there. So the Nets have had more wins than the Mavs since the Kyrie trade. So
Mikal Bridges. Just
Yeah.
getting it
Brooklyn
done.
Bridges filling it up.
Brooklyn
Yeah.
Bridges. Well,
That's a good nickname.
Here's your nickname.
Yeah, I didn't come up with that one. Some bloke on Twitter
I
came
didn't
up
come
with
up
that
with any
one.
of those ones for mine as well, but that's a really good one. Apart from Devin Bookerbatch, but no one ever likes that one. So that's So how's that? I think they're still doing all right in the standings at the moment. So the Nets are going to be in the playoffs in some regards. So
They're still coming sixth at the moment. They have that sixth seed pretty on lock at the moment, which is cool. So yeah, interesting. Hopefully they can come back and maybe even, I don't know, probably won't win it. So yeah.
That's the thing. They got some really good players in the trades that Sean Marks made. It's just they're not sort of headline names. They're just guys who will go out and get you 20 points, get you 10 assists a game.
Sean Marks, would you be worried for him if you he's great to see a Kiwi there, and he's done such a great job of having some amazing players through, but it feels like he's kind of rebooted the team for the future in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I don't think I would be worried, but that's because I like the trades he made. If you're on the other side, then you're probably calling for Sean Marks to
But
get
it feels
kicked out
like
of that
maybe he's gone through the difficult time, if anything, when everything was kind of falling apart, maybe that would have been the time, but he's kind of ridden that out and got a pretty good nucleus for another year of the team. So hopefully we see a Kiwi still in the NBA. Just before we head into fantasy. All right, you haven't seen this, Chris, so I'm going to throw this on you. Oscars this week. I want the top 3 highest grossing basketball films of all time.
Oh shit!
Okay?
Basketball
films. Okay.
Top of my head.
Okay. No. You can see.
Yeah, see, I don't have a computer in front of me like
you can see
you
the
guys.
shit. You can't Google this. Okay. I've only got the top 4 written down here, so let's see how you go. What would be in there?
I'm going to go terribly. I'm just going to go with a few of my favourites.
Yeah.
White Men Can't Jump.
Number 2. There you go.
Number 2.
There you go. Nice.
Coach Carter.
Number 4. So there you go. Okay. And the other, and the 1 and 3.
Space Jam.
Space Jam is
And
number
Space
1.
Jam
and
2.
Space Jam is number 3. There you go.
There you go. All 4.
In order,
Nailed it.
Space Jam number 1, White Men Can't Jump, Spaceman, A New Legacy in at number 3, and Coach Carter at number 4. All right, let's head to fantasy.
Hey there, what's your fantasy?
Sorry, fantasy basketball? Yeah, basketball.
Now, Joel, your fantasy's all wrapped up?
All wrapped up, yeah. I lost in the final, which was grim scenes, but hey, look, it doesn't matter. We didn't have any money on it as well, so that's all right. You know, you win some, you lose some. I was just happy to come second, end of the day.
Yeah, I scraped through into sort of the playoff section and now getting absolutely wasted this week at the moment. Players that you've stuck with and not quite. It seems to happen week to week. Are you doing fantasy this year, Chris?
Yeah, I am. So one of my teams has actually scraped through to the playoffs. Last week it was between me and another guy. It was like a final week hit out, just how it worked out. So I got through, but I've just been streaming like average players just so I can fill the roster each day. Today I had to stream 3 different Spurs because I streamed one and then he got ruled out. Streamed another, ruled out. So now I've got like the 3rd string Spurs center in my team.
How many changes are you allowed within your league? Because I know every league, everyone does it differently. You can have so many changes per week and things like that. How many are you allowed?
This one, as far as I'm aware, it's unlimited.
Wow.
Dream scenario.
Yeah.
We run 7 acquisitions a week.
We're sick. James McConey is from Crowd Goes Wild, and I'm from Scott. He's the evil commissioner of our league. He's more corrupt than FIFA, and it changes some weeks when he's got injuries. Like suddenly, all of a sudden, it'll be like, oh, we've got more subs this week, and then the other weeks it'll be real tightened down. So
you don't play for money, do you? Because that's pretty dodgy if you are.
No, luckily we're not playing for money. Playing for a crappy Alibaba knockoff version of the NBA trophy as well. So yeah, but at the moment things not going so well for me. But we do have a team, the team here at the Benchwarmers that. No, it's like the stepchild that no one really loves in the relationship, isn't it? No one's really looking after it. But producer Adam, you've been keeping an eye on it? Or just like not doing anything, just keeping an eye on it?
Well, Joel did tell me that he was going to keep an eye on it, so...
Yeah, look, I was keeping an eye on it. I just didn't make any changes.
He was at the club with Ja Morant, mate. He's been busy.
Yeah, so when I did check on it, half the team was in the bench and injured.
Oh, so we hadn't rostered people on, or were they just actually injured?
A bit of both, a bit of column A, a bit of column B. Because our team's taking a huge knock at the moment. We have Ja Morant, for obvious reasons, is not playing.
We had Steph Curry, He's back now.
Only just, so only in the last week. And we've got Brunson, who's injured, Clarkson, who's injured, Bogdanovic, who's injured. Basically, most of the team that was scoring for us is injured. However, we are still coming 3rd.
Oh, that's all right. We got quite cocky. We were kind of like the Ja Morant. We're cool in the West. We're fine. And then everyone sort of rebooted, and we've kind of lost our way a little bit.
Yeah, and we're also getting smoked 8-1 this week as well. However, I'm only presuming semi-finals are next week, and if we're still coming top 4, I think we still get in. So
look, we'll have to put everything into that one.
So are you...
Was that sarcasm? Sounded a lot like sarcasm.
It sounded like sarcasm.
So does that mean next week you will be looking after the team, Joel?
Yep, I'll do it next week. If we're in the playoffs, I'll be there. I'll be monitoring it.
Only the playoffs?
Yeah, only the playoffs. Only the big game playoffs.
Yeah, like the thing is, you got me into that with the super coach and the rugby league one as well. Yep. I know both you both are doing that as well.
Coach. I did take down Chris last week in Supercoach as well. If anyone was wondering,
I beat Ben in week 1, so it's all right.
I did okay apparently in week 1. I'm very confused by it all to get my head around the whole thing. I've just been. It's like the census. You have to fill it out every week.
Did you know, Chris, that you are top 15? In the ACC league, I feel like that deserves some credit.
My brother let me know yesterday. I think I'm coming 12th.
You're going right.
12 or 13, and I was second behind you from the ACC lot at like 20 something, and like Ben Hurley's like 180, 180, and I think he was the worst out of all of us. So you're not doing the worst, Ben. So I wouldn't be too hard on yourself,
I'm coming. Yeah, well, I did all right the first week apparently, and Joel didn't as well. And you wouldn't help me. You were my go-to of I was like, can you help me? Just so you're like, oh mate, you'll work it out. And then you have a great week. I'm suddenly 10th out of 10th, and you're like, oh mate, let's have a look at your team. Oh, that's how you make trades and all that. So
do you have Jermaine Hopgood? If you don't have Jermaine Hopgood, get Jermaine Hopgood.
Thank you. This is the sort of advice I need. He'll just be like, yeah, he's a good player. Oh no, he's a good player. That's all you'll say to everyone. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I guess they're all good players. They all play in the NRL, but these are people I need to have in my team. Anyway, this is not an NRL podcast, so we'll head into the alley oops.
It's the big alley ooh. It's not the one
Just quickly firing through. Talking all over that intro. Radio 101, not going that great there for me. But some of our favourite bits of the week so far. Anthony Davis, he had his birthday during the week. And even with NBA, even in the NBA, who was all about the hype, his birthday song at the party sounded just as lackluster as an office party. Have a quick listen.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, that's enough. We pull that down. But it's a birthday song for the happy day for most people. It's so depressing.
Well, they're like drawing that out deliberately. That felt even slower than normal.
It didn't it? It really, really is depressing, the birthday song. I feel like we could just pick things up just
same amount of energy as the bloody Benchwarmers Podcast.
Yeah. Dylan Brooks, who we talked about earlier, that Chris has been loving, I've been loving. He's been winding everyone up. He was blowing kisses this week when he was playing against the Mavs.
Brooks picked up by Hardaway. Sidestep three, found his rhythm, and knocks it home, and a kiss to the crowd here at American Airlines Center.
He's a funny dude, man. He could miss 6 in a row, and if he makes that 7th, he's going to throw kisses to the crowd. I love it.
Blowing kisses, nice move. Nice power play. I like
pants
that.
Man, Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, he's a pants man. And finally, we talked about a few tussles this week. This one wasn't deliberately, but Torrey Craig ran into Giannis, and as you'd imagine, running into Giannis doesn't work out so well.
And the Ooopppssss cut off there by Torrey Craig, who gets hit in the chops. He's still down. Connaughton fires the three. And Torrey checking to make sure all of his teeth are in place. And they're not. He picked up a tooth off the floor.
Yeah.
Was he wearing a mouth guard?
I don't think he was.
I think it will be when he comes back.
Yeah. You're right. Some players do wear a mouth guard. Some don't. Some, like Steph Curry, has it kind of out of his mouth 90% of the time anyway, right? So, well, there must be no ruling across the NBA. It's just personal,
Yeah, I don't think there is for basketball because, technically it's not a contact sport.
Yeah.
It is a contact sport, but technically it's
Yeah, you're right.
You see, like, the centers just pretty much shoulder charging each other the whole time as well. I feel like I would wear one if I was in there.
Would you do the cool Steph Curry, put out the side of the mouth thing?
Yeah.
That's who should be wearing a mouth guard, that bull boy from the from the Golden State Warriors. Jesus, and some headgear or a helmet or something because Steph Curry's around. All right, as the Benchwarmers for another week. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Chris for hanging out. We really love you hanging out with us, buddy, so thank you for that. Joel, you'll be back next week, mate, if you're not at the club.
Yeah, let us know how your strip club weekend goes with Jam Ram, and I would love to hear back next week about it.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, all right. We'll be back again next week. Make sure you like and subscribe. We'll see you soon on the Benchwarmers.